Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to be talking about Suburbicon, directed by George Clooney and starring Matt Damon. I'm doing things a little differently this time. I have no notes, no script, no anything, so here we go. Suburbicon is set in what's basically a huge neighborhood in the 1950s. There's two different stories going on in this movie. First is the side story of the first ever African American family to move into Suburbicon and how that affects things. The second story is about Matt Damon's character, who just seems to be a regular guy, husband, father, works a regular job, and his possible involvement with the mob. If you've seen the trailer for this movie, you're not going to get the movie you think you're going to get. The trailer for this movie made it seem like this movie might be kind of funny, or at the very least a dark comedy. I hate to burst the bubble for those expecting that, but this movie is neither of those things. The trailer also made it look like that Matt Damon's character is a hero trying to protect his family and everything like that. No, he's actually one of the bad guys in the movie. In fact, there is not a lot of good people in this movie. I can probably count on one or maybe two hands on the people that are actually good people. I will say that Matt Damon's character is very interesting in this movie because I like to see him play different characters like this. He doesn't have to play, the good guy super spy every time. He can play a dark character every now and then, and that's not a bad thing. Like I mentioned earlier, there was two different stories in this movie. Sometimes together they worked, and sometimes they didn't. To set things up, Matt Damon's family and the African American family are neighbors. When it comes to the African American family story, let's just put it this way, them being town basically causes madness and riots. It basically felt like everyone's welcome to Suburbicon. Well, unless you're not white. While they did try to incorporate the African American family into different parts of the story here and there and connect everything, sometimes it just didn't work because it just felt like they were just forcing it into the story. Other times, such as when things are going on inside Matt Damon's house, you can hear the noise outside, and that actually adds to the tension and also adds to the cover-up of Matt Damon's character's story. If the police and everyone in town are so preoccupied with the African American family moving in the town and how horrible it's making their lives, they're not going to worry about all the weird stuff happening in Matt Damon's character's house. This is one of those movies that if you have seen the trailer, you're going to be able to figure out what's going on, and that's unfortunate. One thing's going to lead to another, which leads to another, which leads to another, and honestly, as it was going on here, there, and everywhere, I was figuring out what was going to happen, and I predicted how pretty much it was going to end. While there's not a lot of likable characters in this movie, there's actually some characters that you will enjoy. As the movie goes on, Matt Damon's character gets darker and darker. Julianne Moore's character, well, she has a pretty bad dark side to her as well. And I think my favorite character had to be Oscar Isaac's insurance adjuster. At first he's kind of funny and you can kind of tell what he's doing because there's a scene where he's kind of fishing for information and then he comes out and flat out admits it, and it's actually kind of funny and entertaining. But then later on in the movie you find out that he's kind of a jerk too. I know in the trailers it made it look like he was a gangster and he was trying to get money from Matt Damon's character or something like that, but no, he's an insurance adjuster. That being said, he's still a bad guy too. While I didn't think this was a great movie, I was entertained by the character, so if you like Coen Brothers movies, you'll probably like this one at least a little bit. While the story is a little unbalanced, at times it does work well together and the characters are interesting enough that I would at least recommend it for a rental. As always, thank you so much for watching. What did you think of Suburbicon? Feel free to comment on down in the section below. But remember, it's only just one guy's opinion. I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino. Till next time.